What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy, Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. So, I mentioned to you guys a few episodes ago about how sometimes free agency is about people being traded who you did not know were available to be traded, right? You mentioned Geno Smith. There are other players who you're like, oh, I thought that guy was in a contract and he's got traded. This is brought up today because it was floated that maybe Miami might want to pursue Minkah Fitzpatrick and bring him back to the Dolphins. So, for those of you who don't know, Dolphins drafted Minkah Fitzpatrick a few years ago, like 2018, had him for a couple years, traded him to Pittsburgh because they knew they had to extend him and they want to pay him. Got a couple draft picks back. We moved forward. Minkah became multiple time Pro Bowl, All Pro. And now, Minkah's in a weird part of his career. He's obviously still very good. Probably his best days are behind him, though, right? But he's young enough that you know he's got some juice left in the tank. Pittsburgh has spent a ton of money on their defense. They're paying everybody. Linebackers, DNs, nose tackles, secondary. They just got Darius Slate. Like, they're paying a lot of people. And so the idea is that can Pittsburgh afford to pay him that and possibly bring in a guy like Aaron Rodgers or maybe even fortify their offense even more going forward? They spent a lot of money. I can't say poorly. Their team is pretty well constructed, but they need a quarterback. So at some point, they got to spend money for a quarterback. So when you're strapped financially, I've mentioned that I didn't think safety was like the craziest position in the world. They know Minkah and Miami have a natural fit because we drafted him already and we have a need for safety. So if you're going to trade him to a team and get some assets back, trading him to the team that drafted him, who has a need for him, makes a lot of sense, right? Probably not a first round grade anymore. I could see maybe a 3 and a 4. If you're really pushing it, like a 2 and a 5 maybe. But would that be a solid option, right? Could we bring Minkah back? We have now an experienced safety, knows the city, knows the organization. We don't have to like teach him the Dolphins way. He's aware of it already. We know he's a ball hawk, good in coverage, playmaker in general. Even though last year he was solid but not amazing, still better than most. Like bubble top 5 safety. And it kind of fits, right? Like you started with us, you got good, we let you go. You went out, spread your wings, come back home. Pittsburgh, they get assets back, right? They have some issues on their team. They have positions to fill. They need another running back. They need possibly another offensive lineman. We got one of theirs this offseason. Shout out to y'all. It makes sense if he's shoppable, right? Because no other teams, like the Colts got their safety, the Vikings got theirs, Miami's still looking for ours. So it makes sense for a lot of different reasons. I don't know if he's available, right? That's the number one thing. We don't know if he's actually choppable. But if it's an option to be made, Miami has 10 picks this draft. So saying, hey, would you give up two of your 10 picks this year to bring in Minkah? Yeah. I do that right now. Which picks you want? Not the first and second, but like you want the 4th and the 6th? Take them. You give me Minkah, and we'll figure it out from there. I think he's, of all the safeties, one of the top ones in terms of playmaking. He seems to be in the right place a lot of times. Even during the off season, he was still very good. I'm a Minkah fan. Loved him at Alabama. Loved him with Miami. Very good with Pittsburgh. So I fully endorse this move if it's an option to be made. Don't know. Pittsburgh's kind of an organization where we don't know. Like DK Metcalf ended up there was kind of confusing. I do think Pickens may possibly be on the block at some point because, again, last year of his contract, temperamental. We don't know how that's going to go. Like, they don't have money to pay George Pickens right now. Let's put it that way. If Pickens wants a 4-year, at least 120 extension, they don't got it. So you may have to draft another receiver. Hey, Miami, y'all want the safety that you drafted? Give us some picks. We may use one of those picks to get a receiver to replace George Pickens, right? That's how the marriage comes together. I don't know if it's going to happen. I like the idea of it, and I fully endorse it. But I think more likely than not, the more our free agency is shaping up, drafting defense seems like the better play early on. And we haven't really got into a lot of the D tackles because we've been secondary and offensive line focused. But if they decide to go D tackle, I think Walter Nolen from Ole Miss makes a lot of sense. Y'all know how I am about the SEC. All right? I say it every time. I'm 10 toes about it. So Walter started at A&M, solid player. He started like 10 or 11 games his first couple of years. Really good player. A&M's defense was very good. He went to Ole Miss and just everything got unlocked. Became consensus All-American, run stopper, pass rush, tackle for loss. He is a destructive force in the middle. He has some of that Jalen Carter to him. His upside is not Jalen Carter's upside because Jalen Carter, I think, could be the best defensive tackle in the league. But can he be a very solid defensive tackle? Maybe at the level of a Matabike or someone that's like borderline Pro Bowl? Yeah. 6'4", 300 pounds, good pass rush ability, good run blocking, mostly good pad level. The one knock on him, like I guess the big knock on him, is that his arms aren't long, and that doesn't mean anything to most people. But when you're a defensive tackle and you get an offensive lineman on you, longer arms allow you to keep them more at bay. So it allows you to get off a tackle and then get upfield, right? So when your arms are shorter and the offensive linemen, which are universally 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", 300 plus pounds, when they get those long arms on you, if you can't dislodge them, you just got stuck in a block. And now they just got you, and they just and you don't want to be in that situation where a long guard just got you, taking you for a ride. So he's actually a pretty athletic 300-pound, 6'4" dude, but his arms are short. So basically, either he gets you or you get him. That's kind of where his game is. If he can get up under you quick or make a good move off the line and he can beat the old lineman, he's at your quarterback, TFLs, tackle for loss. He's about that action. If you get him first, though, you can wash him out, meaning if he starts here on the line, you can push him down on either side, which is where running lanes kind of open up, or you can just get him and he can't get off the tackle, so a running back can kind of run past him. That's something that I think his arms are going to get any longer. Arms will just get longer. But it's probably a technique thing. I know he's been taught by 2 SEC schools, but when you get in the NFL, better coaches, better scouting, like, hey, do this, like just how how DBs and receivers have their drills, how they get off the line, and how DBs engage without overcommitting. It's the same thing with defensive linemen. Like getting better with your hands allows you to do more things. So he's not a finished product at all. I do think he's a day one starter. I think he'll be great for the run game immediately, and he offers some pass rush ability from the middle, which as you've seen from Philadelphia, you've seen from Aaron Donald. If you can pass rush from inside that tackle, guard, center, like that center guard area specifically, because tackles, most people go on the outside. But if you're a guard center, if you can get in between there, because most quarterbacks, when there's pressure, will either want to bail to the side or step up in the pocket. But if you collapse that pocket from the inside and they can't step up, you're immediately at an advantage on defense, right? So inside pressure is dominant in the league. If you can do that, you can do basically anything else you want. So I think he offers a lot of upside there. Again, there's some work to be done. I think we can trade down and get him. So again, I'll keep bringing up trading down because it just gives you more assets, right? We only keep your pick if you think if we don't pick somebody right now, somebody behind us is going to snatch him up. If you think we can trade down 4, 5, 6 picks, pick up another 4th or 5th round pick, and still get the guy, do it. Take as many picks as you want, because then that same future 4th, 5th round pick could be used in a package to get a guy like Minkah Fitzpatrick, and you see how it all kind of comes together. So I'm a fan for this pick if we can do it. I think he's like the 4th or 5th rated defensive lineman, which means that at 13, for sure he should be available because there's going to be 2 quarterbacks, multiple cornerbacks, offensive lineman, defensive lineman. He'll be there for us at 13 if we want him. He'll probably be there 18, 19, 20 if we want to trade back. So we'll see what happens. And finally, we are at the anniversary of signing Tyreek Hill. I know it feels like it was just yesterday. And the question is, was signing Tyreek Hill a success for Miami? It's a reasonable question. Depends how you define success, right? Miami before Tyreek was a nothing burger. Nobody talked about the Dolphins. We weren't on any public radars. This question was really, is Tua good, is Tua not good? That was what we talked about. Tyreek came in immediately. Tua's a Pro Bowler. The offense goes from 18th to 4th. McDaniel looks like a genius. Like Tyreek looks like, see, I told you I could be wide receiver 1 in the league. He's getting ads and commercials. He's first team All-Pro. That's what the Tyreek experience was. He opened up the whole defense. We ended up having the best running game in the league the year after, with Raheem Mostert going crazy and A-Chan going crazy. Tyreek going even more crazy, almost 1,800 yards. Like, if you want to talk about impact on the field, yeah, of course it's successful. What are you talking about? If you're talking about we got him to win significant games, not so much. Um, 2 playoff appearances, sure. No playoff wins, okay. No division wins. And I think some of that is, it's not Tyreek. Tyreek's a wide receiver. I can't expect the team to go over the top because of a receiver and all of a sudden start dominating the division. That's not really how it works. Justin Jefferson is fantastic, but they didn't win their division. Jamar Chase is fantastic. They didn't win their division. CeeDee Lamb is great. They didn't win their division. So if you're telling me the top receivers in the league don't necessarily immediately equate to winning your division or winning in the playoffs, then I can't put that on Tyreek. I think Tyreek's been very good. I think he's been a culture guy. He's definitely kept us in the media. He's had moments. He's a wild boy on and off the field. There's a lot to get into there. But I think if he's kept us on the map, he's made us relevant, he's gotten us primetime games. Has it come together the way we all wanted it? Not yet. But I think that's more about injuries too. We haven't been fully healthy except one of those 3 years. So, successful, yes-ish. But the reason it's not been successful more, I don't put on Tyreek. That's what I'll say. But as always, guys, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate the love and support. You guys are crushing it with likes and subscribes. We just crossed 900 subs. Let's try to get to 1,000 by April 15th. I'm just throwing a number out there for the people. I'm sure we're going to crush it. You guys have been amazing. I really, really, truly appreciate what y'all are doing. And we'll see you next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.